Welcome to our program, and in addition to our painting lessons, we're also going to start interviewing some local artists in our area to see how they come up with their creativity and how they paint. And so we're going to have them on art and imagination. Anything that you can imagine, you can draw. Let's go to the studio. Hi, and welcome. Glad to have you back. Today we're going to be drawing, and I'm going to show you how to do some faces. But first of all, let's get to some other things. I have brought with me my book of artwork that I have done, and so therefore I'd like to show you when you're drawing and when you're doing art, it is a good idea to keep a book of things that you have done. Now these drawings with my pencil, I set with a sketchbook, and I watch TV, and during the commercials I draw. So you can see that I've got a book full of things here that I have drawn and painted, and of course I had to draw it first. And this is one of my favorites, and her name is Selena, and I enjoy that, and I have her in a frame at my house so I can look at her every day. And here's another one that I love, is that Jesus is being baptized in the river by John the Baptist. So, and that's just, a lot of these are sold. These two have sold. But there's also it's just kind of helping you when you do keep a book like this. And it's just simply a book of photographs that I take to the drugstore and have them made into a 4x7 or whatever, and keep them in a book so that I can see how well I improve with my drawing. And as a professional artist, I do practice all the time. As I tell you, during the commercials, I definitely watch TV, and during the commercials I draw, and sometimes the drawings come out to be, in my book, and they put them on canvas. So it's just fun to do people, and we're going to learn how to do people today. These are some of my commissioned works. And it's just so much fun to sit and draw and practice. So we'll put this book away. Now, what you need to start out with, and I have this, 11 by 14 sketch pad from Strathmore, and I like Strathmore paper to sketch on because it's really nice and it's smooth, and I like smooth because I can blend it better and I can erase it better wherever I put my eraser, to take out some of the marks that I want and make some highlights and everything. And I was working on this the other night. I'm not finished with it. I'm not particularly happy with her, but however, she goes along with this man. And I did the man first, and I said, well, he's got to have a woman over here next to him, of course. And it turned out looking a lot like my grandpa, but not the mouth. But up here, he always had a hat on. So today, let's learn how to do a head and a face. I think it's fun. So you always have to have your paper towel down here. If you're right-handed, you don't want to smudge your painting. Now, I brought along some charcoal with me also, but I normally draw with a number 2 pencil. And it gives me enough lead, I guess, on the paper to smudge and everything else, because we do quite a bit of smudging. At least that's what I'm going to call it. So what I want you to do on your paper is to draw an oval. I go up here and loosen up. You don't want to be stiff in doing this. You're just kind of making an arc at the top, like that. And then you bring it down loosely and lightly. And you try to get it as even as you can, because you'll probably be, you know, fixing it as you go along here. So we know that a head is an oval as we look at people. Now we don't have any models today. Oh, I bet I could find one in this studio. But today we're not doing things with drawing with a model. So you put your oval down, as I have done, lightly, and then I go up, and in the middle of that oval, draw a light line. And this is going to be dividing your face. So, okay, now we got that in there, because your nose is going to go in here, and your eyes, and then you kind of looking about 3/4 of the way up, you're going to put another line going across. So you're basically making a cross. Like that. And it doesn't matter if it's a fat line or a skinny line. And then you come down a little bit lower, and you put a half, you know, just a mark. And then we're going to come down, about 1/4 of an inch through here, and we're going to draw another line. Now, we go down here, and under that one, we make a little bit of line there also. Now, we kind of just got that all set up. It's already looking like a face. So we have our center line. Now, there are 3 eyes going across this. We put, you know, the eyes go in the center of these lines underneath this top line, but you've got to, the width between the eyes is another eye. So let's just kind of make another little eye right there. And it's just a little bit of a, centrical circle. So that's going to be our center line. We'll be erasing that. And I'm doing this just simply for your learning purposes, because I never draw this in there. But for you today, if you've never drawn faces, just kind of make a little circle right there, and that'll be your 3rd eye. So I go over here when I'm making the eyes, and I go put a dot there, and I look at, and I eyeball it, and I put another little circle there. Looks funny, doesn't it? So from there, I kind of go up and I make little wings on this little circle here. Looks like little horns. So I come over and I go around, and I make an arc over these circles. Now, I may not have them just totally the right distance apart, but it's okay. We're going to work with it. So we put little arcs over that. Now we're going to put little arcs underneath those eyes, going from that little circle that we've got in the center of the face. Now we got to define which way these eyeballs are going to be looking. So let's make them look over to the right. So in this, I'm going to go in and I'm going to make like a marble in here, but I'm not going to go a full marble. I'm going to make it where these bottom lines and the top lines are just touching. So I got this little dot here on the wrong spot, so I need my eraser. And let's take him out because he's confusing me. So I got to make my little eyeball here. So I go at the top, come around, and try to make them the same size. I mean, I can get them off, but whatever mistakes we make, we will fix. So you try to make them equal, like so. And I want to put that little dot back in there because that's going to be your, and this one now is wrong compared to that one, so we have to fix that. So We just kind of go across slowly, put another dot there, so we can work with that. Okay, now we have kind of a face here. So now I'm going to, since we don't need that eye in there anymore, I'm going to take that eye out, that third eye. And I love these erasers. They work so great. So we got a little bit of a face here. So then this top line that we did in the beginning is for your eyebrows. So we're going to go at the top and we're going to make that line a little bit darker so that we know where we're at. And it doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to fix it. So we're going to follow the contour of the eye that we put in here on that part of the arc, and we're going to go down. And I don't want to get in your way where you can't see. And we're going to follow that eye line, the way that eye is. Now we're not making things beautiful right now, and as you can see, it's not the same kind of eyebrow. And this one's too long, so let's take that little bit out. But we're going to follow that top, because our bones up here on the top of our face, on our eyebrows, right in through here, there's a bone there, and that's what defines where your eyebrows are on your face, is that bone. And so this goes across that bone and then down. So we're going to kind of take the eyebrow down a little bit, okay? Now then, pardon me. I think I need a drink of my coffee. I hope you have your coffee or your tea or whatever you're drinking for this episode. So now from the eyebrows, we notice that our eyebrows come down into our nose, the top bridge of our nose. So that's what we're going to draw. So therefore, now some people's bridge of their nose is wider than others. But today we're just going to make a pretend person, so we can make it as wide as we want. And some people have a very wide face, and some people have a very square face, and some people have a very round face. So anyway, we're going to bring this down, all the way down to this line that we have down here on the bottom, and it may look like the nose is long, and we're going to kind of curve into that line that we have. This was our guide. So we come down. Whoops, got to make it even there, Janna. So you can, loosen up and make it kind of round, like so. And the reason I do, this is filling in to make it right, so therefore, I use my eraser to go in there and take some of that out of there, that pencil line. And I try to get it as even as I can. Of course, when you're watching TV and doing this between commercials, it's you have to kind of pay attention to what you're doing. Now what I do is alongside of this bridge of this nose that we've got in here, I'm going to take and make some little black marks right under this nose here. I'm pressing down a little bit harder than I have on the rest of it, because we want that to be very dark and kind of rounded. Okay? So we've got that part done. We're almost finished with a head here. Now I come down, and between those two dark marks, I make the center of this right here. You have a little indentation there, and it comes up, and that defines your lip on the bottom, your top part of your lip. So it has to come down from the part of your nose down. So we're doing that now. So I have to shorten that up because I got that mouth down there too. Well, maybe not. I'll have to kind of pay attention to what it is. Now I'm coming up from this nose part again on the side, and I'm going to be bringing that out, and we're going to make a little kind of a loop and then up. And that may be too round. Nobody's perfect, remember. We're not expecting perfection here. We're just practicing. I like maybe to square it off a little bit and then fix it later. And then come down on the other side and do the same thing. Make it come into that, that part of the lip. And we'll fix it. This one I really got junky. So since I can't get it in there right, I'm going to come up into that, and then I'm going to come out and flange it out. And that's this part of the nose, that little round thing right here. Because you come down and your nose is rounded on the end. And then you have these two little flanges hanging out here. It's what I call them. And sometimes it's hard to get those in there just right. But you have to kind of work at it. And that's why we're practicing. This is just a practice thing. So once you know how to divide and how to get your face in there, then you can practice a lot better. And I didn't really decipher which way the light was coming from. So anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. All right, now I said this part was connected to the lip, and it is. So the lip comes down underneath that in an arch, or a dip going up instead of coming down. We're going to go up, and then we're going to kind of bring it down. It could be like so. That's not the most important part of the lip. This here, this line here, I'm bringing across and kind of making a little dip there and bringing it straight across where she's not, it's not smiling, that's for sure. At least for now it's not. But I want to get that lip in there. And I kind of bring it out, and I've got it a little bit heavy. So I'm bringing, from the top lip here, I'm catching this. The middle line here is going to go out beyond this lip on the top. So I'm going to come down to where that lip ends on the top and make the bottom lip. There again, you can make them, and you'll probably make them bigger than what we're doing here. But as long as you practice, you'll get it. And then I kind of bring this, soften this up in here. And in here is going to be dark on the person. Okay. Now, back up to the eyes. Now we can't see our eyeballs sitting in our eyes like we've got it drawn here. So we have an eyelid. And so I go ahead and I start from the corner of my eye, and I go right across the top of that eyeball, and you can see already how much better that looks. We're getting there, aren't we? Now, we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Go to the corner of that eyelid and just touch the top of that eyeball and make your eyelid go out. And I always kind of shade up in here because that's the eyelid. And we want to make this a 3D. Now, you can see that my eyebrow on this side is higher than this eyebrow. So I'm going to have to change this eyebrow. Like I said, nobody's perfect. So we've got to run that a little bit higher there. It's so easy to change, so it's not a big deal. So I'm going to color in, shade in that eyelid just lightly. I don't want it to be too dark. Okay, now we have some eyes that are going to be looking at you. And believe me, I've drawn pictures where the eyes follow, the eyes follow the people in the room. And I've had people say, you gotta fix the eyes, they're following me everywhere I go. And I said, that's good. And they said, no, that's bad. So they don't like the eyes. Some people don't like the eyes following them from the room to room. But I have changed it. Don't like to, but however. Now on this bottom eyelid, I'm gonna come up. Now I can see that I've got this eye a little bit bigger than the other one, so I'm going to take my eraser and I'm going to fix it. Easy to do. Now I'm going to come down to this bottom eyelid and I'm not going to connect to the top just yet. I'm going to make a little mark there, a little dark mark, and we'll come back to that. Already we got some pretty eyes. All right. Now from the lines that we've got from the eyes here to the lip, and you can all measure this from your eyes to your lip. I'm looking backwards here. There's your ear sitting right in between those two lines. And that's how big your ear is. So I'm not going to make a big ear. So I'm going to come down. I'm going to make the lobes. Now this is going to look funny for a minute. But I just want to kind of tell myself as I'm drawing just where everything's at, because we've already made our map. Now's the time to start making the shape of the face. So this is pretty wide in here, so I may have to move the ear, which is fine. So I'm going to come down, and these we're going to put in our little cheekbones too. So we're going to go out and come back in, and I'm going to go with that top line that I had drawn, and we're going to put in our other cheekbone, and we're going to come down. Okay, now I'm going to erase some of the lines that I have on here that I don't need anymore, just from the drawing part. So I'm cleaning this up. So as you can see, the ear is out there too far, so I'm going to go ahead and bring that ear in. The way that it should be. Because before I just made it so I knew where it was at. And it kind of comes in a bit. Okay. Let's get rid of some of these lines. Now we've still got this cheek over here that's a little bit too wide. Now, this could be a man or a woman. Now, we kind of got a small mouth there for right now, but we can fix that too. Now, on these ears, we have this little cup that goes around the top of our ear, and it comes down and around, and it kind of disappears before it gets down to the lobe. The lobe is here. And then in here, it will look like a Y in your ear, and you'll have your hole to your ear there. I'm going to make that like that so you can see what I'm talking about. Come down, to the lobe almost. And we want to keep them kind of looking the same, so. And sometimes it's hard to get them just right. So it takes practice, and since I'm doing this kind of fast, I apologize for my imperfection here. So we'll put the little Y in. And that, when you paint that, that will show up. Okay? Now, when you're putting on a neck for this face, we're going to go down here from the earlobes and go down and put that on. Now, since we're not going to get this done today, I can tell you right now, we're going to put a part in the hair up here. Oh, let's put the part right there. Now, let's just make him a guy instead of a girl. So I'm going to just throw in the beginning of what I want as hair. Of course, he looks like a girl. I've got girl eyes on him, don't I? Well, there's a lot of guys that have girl eyes, pretty eyes. So we're just going to kind of mask that in there. Oh, let's make him a little cowlick up there. Makes it more interesting. So I'm going down. And let's have some hair coming down this way. Now we've got a picture of a face. And we'll probably make our mouth wider and our lips a little thinner since he's a guy. And I won't give him girl lips up there. Guy lips are a little bit smaller and they don't have all that dippy stuff in there. So I'm just going to block that in for the next time that we come together. And we're going to kind of cut his eyes where he doesn't have girl eyes as I'm putting eyelashes on him. But this is the beginning. Let's make him a little bit bigger nose. That we don't want him to look so dainty. And we'll go up there. So this is kind of fast. I'm finishing fast. And I'm going to darken these eyes. So therefore, we've got a face, and we're going to be working on him next week. Or next time we meet. We're going to bring his nose out a little bit farther. But this has been fun. I've enjoyed trying to show you how to do this stuff. I find it fun to show you and teach you. But I hope you're going to be with us next time into the studio. And we're glad to have you every time that we produce our show. So happy drawing and happy painting, whatever you're doing. But do it and do it regularly. And practice, 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 like I do. So we'll see you next time. So have a good time. Remember, anything that you can imagine, you can draw. So we'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.